Hey you guys, it's your girl Internet, and today I'll be coming at you with a video, and it's called Obama Chef Drown on Martha's Vineyard. Now I've been hearing like some little stuff about it. I'm like, dang, what the world happened? Not the chef, what done went on? So I come to find so I'm trying to do some digging. Cause I don't know like what happened. Like how did he drown? You know, like I think it's like a pond and stuff like that. A lake or whatever like that, but dang, wonder what happened. You know how all these presidencies and all like that, they be in their secret society, and that right there could have did, maybe they had a hit or something like that on him. I don't know, but we shall see. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn your notifications on so you can see me, and let's get into this video.
We have new developments in the tragic drowning accident of the Obama family chef, Tafari Campbell. Now, according to new reports, a female staffer was paddleboarding with Campbell when he fell off his board. She tried to help him before he disappeared under the water. Eventually, she returned to shore so that she could go get help. This woman has not been identified. The Obamas were not at the property at that time, although they were on the island.
This isn't the first time a president's personal chef died suddenly. Walter Scheib, a former executive chef during the administrations of Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, also drowned accidentally in 2015. Of course, that coincidence, that echo, is causing some people to think conspiratorially about this moment.
Right.
The idea being that family chefs have a lot of proximity to families, might hear things and be aware of things that might be disadvantageous or embarrassing to the family, and are consequently vulnerable to very powerful interests. Of course, that is purely speculative, and the nature of the world and coincidences. That's why something might seem like an exact copy. How often does somebody's private chef drown in these kind of circumstances? The reality is that there's just so many incidences of the world that sometimes things do echo in this way.
Right, and this person was a presumably otherwise healthy, younger person, drowned in 8 feet of water, and that might sound like how do you just drown if you're not even that far from the shore? But actually, that happens to people all the time.
It does. We
always get warnings when summer begins from lifeguards that most drownings happen with lots of other people around. If your drowning doesn't look like what people think it looks like if you're struggling like this, you're not actually drowning. You're drowning when you slip under the water. It happens quick.
Yeah.
It's if you're not able to call out and shout. If you're able to call out and shout and squirm and splash, you're not drowning.
Yeah, I mean that's part of what I think has also driven.
That is just like one of my fears. I have like the fear of drowning. That is something that I do not want to do, other than like burn to death. Like that's so hard. Oh my gosh, drowning, dang.
And some of the questions about this incident. One, as we just showed, there is video that shows that he could swim. It looked like in those videos that he was maybe taking swimming lessons, but that he was somewhat of a proficient swimmer. Now, someone who's taking adult swimming lessons might not be the most natural in the water, given that it's a more relatively recent skill that you've acquired. But still, there would be an expectation perhaps that an adult man, I believe is about 6 foot tall, can either make it to the shore or go down and springboard himself off the bottom to the top again. Some of the witnesses that saw him go under did describe him, so his falling off, his head going under and not seeing him again. I think one witness said it went under, didn't see him again. Another witness said it popped up again and then went down. What is actually happening there? How does something like this happen? Yeah. If you really can't swim, why put yourself in that situation out on a paddleboard?
Right.
But again, there are a million. You could be a strong swimmer, and a million things could have. He could have. By the way, he could have just had a cardiac event or something while doing it. He could have gone under, hit his head. He could have, with the paddleboard, I would want to know more details too about the actual paddleboard. Is this one of those where your feet are like fastened into it? Like you could get caught on the board. Like you could be in a position where you can't squirm quite out of the board, but you're being like trapped underwater. There's just so many ways that while it seems like it's perfectly safe,
I know if it was me, if I was like in that predicament like that, I wouldn't even got on there. I don't even do like small boats because I know I can't swim. So I'm not gonna get out there knowing I can't swim and I know I might drown. It's more likely I will drown. I know I will because I cannot swim. I'm not getting out there. I'm not gonna do it at all. No. That's a pass for me. I don't care. They're like, come on, it's so fun. I'm fine, y'all. I'll watch y'all. I ain't doing it.
freak accidents happen all the time.
It is true. Now, we should note that he was 45 years old. He was married and a father, and the human tragedy of this is very significant. It is interesting that some of the details have taken a little bit of a time to trickle out. One of the witnesses, at least being this female staffer who was paddling with him, is a detail that, as we said at the top, has only recently emerged. Her identity is still being withheld. It's unclear why. There were some questions about what the autopsy might reveal. Apparently there was no trauma to the head, which some people were speculating might be evidence of foul play, or alternatively an explanation for why he wasn't able to swim and save himself if he had knocked himself unconscious or something like that. But that also doesn't seem to be the case.
He could have gone down, like you said, to springboard back up and got his foot caught on something down. Like,
yeah,
it happens.
I mean, I will say I was, paddleboarding actually in the region in Massachusetts over the last week when I was out on vacation. And when this news story broke, I found myself thinking very specifically about what could happen in the lake that I was in. And, the things that I could knock my head on, the ways that I could run out of stamina, the fact that there weren't that many people on the lake at a time, even in the broad light of day, to really observe me if I were struggling and in trouble. I remember saying to the people I was with, I hope you guys don't come out here alone. Because I could see, even as strong swimmers, my parents were very invested in us being good swimmers because they weren't, and put us in little tadpole classes when we were like 4 or 5 years old.
Too.
But it doesn't matter. It made me feel very vulnerable, frankly, and was a reminder of how dangerous the water can be, even for the strongest of swimmers.
Me and my friends used to go whitewater rafting like every summer, and it's a lot of fun. And you often, you're in a kind of giant inner tube basically that you paddle, and you hit a rock, you fall out. I mean, you're in life jackets. But every year, on the course we did, which was not a super advanced course, like kids were doing it, older people. It's not super advanced, but every year someone does drown doing it, because there's just an area where if you hit the rock the right way, you're going to fall out, and you're going to get sucked under, and you're just going to drown. And that happens to somebody every year, and people still.
And see, when he just said that made me think, like, one time I did like the whitewater rafting, but me and my family, we did like the little, it wasn't like the kiddie one, but it was like the lower kind of like slopes or whatever like that. So it wasn't really a lot of action in it, but like we actually hit the rock, and I was the one that I had almost fell out. And so like, that's what I'm saying. Like, ever since that happened to me when I was young, I don't really want to get in stuff like that. I don't want to do it because it's scary. Soon as he said that, it just reminded me of when I had did that, and I actually was in that experience. Like, because I almost literally fell out. And then also in that water, because we was on vacation, it was a lot of snakes in that water too. It was a lot of snakes in there. So people, be careful. Just be careful. Even though you have your life jackets on, be mindful. Always be mindful of situations like that, because it can really go left really quick, especially when you acting a fool. It might seem fun, but ain't no fun when someone drown.
We'll do it.
Yeah,
we did this course, and we did it, and then like next year we went back, and I don't know, I was just feeling like more risk averse. I'm like, let's just get out and walk it around this stretch of the river, and it's like, why take? It's not worth the one. Again, it's not. Doesn't happen a lot. Just happens to one person a year. But I don't want to be that person.
But right, I don't.
My
want that
non-swimming
person
parents
either.
took us when I was a kid living in North Carolina on the Nantahala, and in retrospect, they were non-swimmers, and my brother and I could swim well, but we were like probably 6 and 8 or something like that, 7 and 9, something like that. And I remember my brother and I being like, we're gonna have to save these jokers. Like if something goes down, it's on us. And in that situation, you at least have rocks and those like pools that suck you under and things like that. In a calm lake, it gives the illusion of safety, I will say.
But
People
it's
drown in
not.
swimming pools in their backyards
Yeah.
with family around.
What do you make of some of the largely conservative speculation that there was foul play afoot here?
I mean, it's just wild speculation, right? There's no. We need at least something to go off of to begin to impugn a nefarious motive. Like I saw some people saying, "Oh, he was writing a tell-all." Apparently, that's not true.
Why do they think that he was?
I don't know why that claim was made, but there's no evidence for it. If you're going to make an extraordinary claim, and sometimes extraordinary claims are right, there needs to be there's nothing I can tell other than it's just people think, well, it's just suspicious, it's just fishy that he died, but it's really not fishy because people drown in exactly these circumstances every year.
I'm also curious about the kind of liability implications. Someone else on your property availing themselves, you have to get insurance for if you have a dock, things like that. The family I was staying with, was like, it's not out of unfriendliness that we don't want other people to come onto the dock, but our insurance only covers what happens to us on the family. We don't want to be responsible for someone jumping off and hitting their head or something like that. And, why, there's Secret Service nearby, but not observing, not close enough to help.
Also, for swimming pools, you often have to have them. I think it's probably different in every state. It's a state thing, but sometimes you're legally obligated to have like a fence around the swimming pool.
Right.
It depends exactly because if
So
someone if a neighborhood kid, if a burglar breaks in, drowns in your swimming pool, their estate can sue you.
Right, and there's so many.
God.
There was also a story recently about how pools in these urban areas aren't opening this summer because there's a lifeguard shortage and you just can't get around protections like that. Were there rules about wearing life vests? What is going on here? Could the Obamas potentially be liable in any kind of a wrongful death situation? I think there's a lot more that's going to come out about this story and the tragedy. But that's all we've got for you today. Stick around. We'll have more Rising for you right after this.
So, do y'all think President Obama and his family should be held accountable for this? Like, or was it just really like a freak accident? But like I said, like a lot of time, like these presidencies and all like that, they be wrapped up in that stuff, and you just don't never know what could have happened. He could have been able to turn out like have a tell-all book or whatever like that, and they was like, nah, we gotta get him up out of here. But hopefully that's not the case. But you just never know. Like once they have like the autopsy and all like that, they should be able to tell if something was like foul. Was it foul play or what? But my condolences to his family, because that's hard. And they're his kids are losing him, their daddy. They're just sad. And I really feel bad for him. But do y'all think the Obama should be held accountable, or do y'all not? Tell me what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you. Bye.